up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, though, people? Welcome to Wake Up Woodward on a game day. I don't care if it's preseason, man. Game 1. The Detroit Lions are in pads. I can't wait. I had to put on the jersey this morning. I'm feeling good. It's your boy, Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, the credential business reporter and writer for the network. We got my guy, Flannel Sam, the vet of the network. What up, though, brother?
Hey, act like I never left, right? But no,
Hey.
I do appreciate all of you guys in the chat, all of you at this network and in this room. I feel fantastic today. And yeah, even though it is a preseason game for the Lions, there's certainly some things that we can look out for as fans. And we're going to get to some of these as the show goes along, but it's just going to be nice to see Detroit Lions football on the TV.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. You know, hop on the radio a little bit, listen to a little bit of Dan Miller as well, especially if they score touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Yo,
It's
man.
epic, man. Just put it right there.
Best in the business.
I'm amped for game day.
Best in the business, Dan Miller. Yep.
Chat family, as always, you guys are the most important part of this Woo Crew production. So go on ahead and smash that like button to support your Woo Crew. Let's get the rest of the squad introduced. Shout out to that dude, Justin. You guys already know Festival Justin. It's like, where's Waldo with this guy? But this time, he's going to bring back content, so I can't wait to see what type of mess he gets himself into. But shout out to you, brother, man. We miss you. Can't wait to get you back on the show. We got intern Chase in the building as well. Been showing up and showing out. Thank you for the support. Can't wait till we get things rolling. What up, though? Mr. Matthew Broder, welcome back to the show. Our credential Tigers and our Lions and Reporters writer. What up, though, brother?
We here. It's
We
game
here.
day. Tigers won last night.
I like
did.
the
Lions about to win again. We got a little reveal of what we may see out on the field. We're going to show in a second. I'm excited. I'm glad to be back. Let's go. Let's have a Thursday show.
Let's have a Thursday. Shout out to our elite booth as well. Detroit's #1 draft pick in the sound booth. That is KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood.
What up, though, man?
Hey, what up, though, Bar King?
Hey, head tore up, my hair messed up. I'm here though. Hey, that's all that matters. Hey, real quick, we did get a chance to do this yesterday. It was your birthday, and I wanted to throw this up on the back wall. We had a little something for you. If you take a look there, that was from I believe, bro, that was from his wife.
That's from Queen Kool-Aid.
Queen
The
Kool-Aid, man.
Queen.
She did a special back wall just to honor you, so we wanted to make sure we got that up since we didn't get a chance to do it yesterday.
Definitely.
Shout out
Shout
to
out.
Queen Kool-Aid, man. She always looks out. She brought so much more culture and tradition. Like, my parents, I thought they did a good job,
Yeah.
but she brought a lot of culture and tradition. She does these like collages every year. She does, they do, my family, they do these birthdays, which are pretty cool. You wake up and the house is decorated with stuff. It's pretty cool, man.
Oh yeah, there are definitely things that wives add to lives. I'll just say that. You know, husbands.
That's a bar.
Absolutely.
That's a
Yeah.
bar, King.
I confirm.
Hey,
can confirm.
we husbands do our jobs too, and fathers of course. But this is definitely the perk of having a loving wife. They're
Yes.
the only people that put together collages like this. I mean,
Right.
look at these. Look at all these great
Like,
pictures.
who likes someone that much?
Well,
Like,
I know.
That's
She
what
even
I
got-
ask my wife every day. Why do you like me
Like,
so
yeah,
much? I don't
I'm
understand
wondering.
it.
I look
I
in the
don't get
mirror
it.
and I'm just like cold and heartless. Like, look at this guy. Like, I'm not the same as this guy down here. She even got my kindergarten graduation picture
Oh,
from
wow.
Carlton Elementary in Detroit, Michigan, man.
Wow.
That's
Bag
what's
up
up.
for everybody.
That's what's up, man. Yo, shout out to Queen Kool-Aid and my family. Man, goodness gracious. Man, my emotions are everywhere this morning now. Let's go, Lions. Let's go to Kool-Aid family. Let's go to Woo Crew. Everybody in the chat, man. Woo, I am pumped up. Let me get the rest of the crew. Introduced. Shout out to Woodward Sports' MVP in the TD booth. Dressed ever so appropriately. I love the fit. That is JB-Smoov.
What up? What up? Draft party, baby. Draft party. Lions. It's almost hooker season. That's all I can say. It's almost hooker season. Can I ask, why is Broder over here dressed like a Fred Durst or Eminem?
Oh,
I was gonna go back.
Fred Durst.
Like he's got bars ready or something to go, and I don't like
You
this,
telling
man.
me? You telling me that's not Carson Daly?
Rolling.
Right.
Rolling. Should we sing Hot Dog live on air?
Oh my God.
Rap thing.
Go ahead.
Perform?
You got skills.
Yeah, Broder's
You know
over
you
here
got
scaring me.
skills.
Like he's got bars or something ready to go. So I don't know if I like this for tomorrow, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh,
Not
snap.
every king can three-peat.
Is he foreshadowing? Broder's.
I think he's foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Broder's
Foreskin
boy.
foreshadowing.
Well, you know what, Broder? You can also tell the people. Fast forward. You can also tell the people what we are talking about today.
Lions.
Yep.
Yeah,
Some
more
Michigan
Lions?
football. We're gonna hit the Tigers here in this first segment just to get warmed up. But we gotta have the conversation again in the next segment about Kirby Joseph, this reputation that keeps spreading, this BS reputation that keeps spreading. We gotta get that out of the way first. We gotta get that out of the way first, and then we're going to talk about this preseason game. Like, what players, role players? This is a fun conversation with Flannel on the desk. Like, which role players are going to be the ones to make the most difference for this Lions team? Who's fighting for a job tonight? Tonight, we have a conversation to be had. We're going to talk Michigan football quarterbacks. I said with an S plural because they got decisions to make. There might be one moving ahead, but they got decisions to make. And then if we have time, since it's not really anything, we'll talk about the scandal. The scandal at the end.
Scandal.
The scandal, yeah.
What
Jim Harbaugh getting suspended from high school.
I mean, basically.
Yeah.
So you mean the NCAA are back to this again with Michigan?
Yeah, you might as well just suspend a coach in the NFL, sign a contract longer than 4 years. If he should come back within 4 years, he gets suspended. Yeah. Okay, Pete Thamel.
It's almost as if they look. We've been waiting so long for this proverbial hammer to be dropped. It's like this is it.
We haven't.
Do we have any womp womp
They
womp
have.
womp in the sound?
Oh,
like
of
what are we
course.
doing here?
If they actually read into these allegations, there would be no hammer throwing down. Like, this is all a bunch of manufactured Ohio State, Michigan State BS.
Sorry, JB, but he's right.
Hey, I have nothing to complain about. I thought this ruling was stupid as hell anyway. Like,
Thank you.
Really? Oh, if you come back, we're going to suspend you a full season. Well, I'm not coming back.
And they know this.
Gosh,
They
I wish
know
so
this.
bad. Flannel and I were there with Justin yesterday. He was going up against two elite Spartans, and we'll put Neil in that category. They had Sean Belizean and Neil. Justin did it. He hung in there. But those are elite. They lead at walking you into the corner that they want you to.
Yeah.
Hey.
You know what? Let's get into it then so we can save ourselves a little bit of time to really jump into that Michigan football, those two segments. Let's get warmed up, man. Get us to these lab lines.
I'll take this first one real quick because actually two friends of mine on the U.S. figure skating team, I don't know if you guys knew of the controversy from 2 years ago. There was a Russian figure skater who won gold at the Olympics 2022, and what was it? A couple months later, she failed the performance-enhancing drug test. So it took them like 30 months to re-award the gold, silver, and bronze medal. And the USA figure skating of 2022 received their gold medals yesterday. Madison Chalk and Evan Bates are the leaders of that team. There they are on screen. Just thought, we haven't done a lot of Olympic coverage. These two are from the area. Evan Bates is from Ann Arbor, went to the University of Michigan. Maddie Chalk went to Novi High School before they started really pursuing this professionally. So we got to give them some love. Shout out. They're two of the most decorated ice dancing teams in Olympic history, in the United States history. So got to show them some love.
And they
Gold medal,
hail
baby.
from the great state of pure Michigan.
Factual.
Let's go.
Factual. All right.
Good on you, brother.
Shout out to them. Moving on, though, last night, the Tigers.
Yeah.
The Tigers won 6-2 against over the Mariners. Scuba looked dominant. Parker Meadows, I know
Man.
Dante has a comment to make about it. Wheezy D313 has something to say about it.
That catch
Parker
was
Meadows had
crazy.
himself a day, including a Catch of the Year nominee. I know this last night doesn't change anything really about the season, but this is what we're looking for and watching for the future. I'm curious what Flannel has to say about Parker Meadows. Really, any comments on the game? Because School, he looked vintage. I mean, he was special again. But what do you think, Flannel?
You know what's great? And I get it. This is a game, as Broder says, that's inconsequential in terms of a playoff run because it's not going to happen for the Tigers, but we already know that. But one of the best things that you can do, first off, is to spoil things for the Mariners. The Mariners are smack dab in the middle of a divisional race. They play in a weak division, but if you're Scott Service right now, the Seattle Mariners manager, you're punching air. You cannot lose a series to the Detroit Tigers, a Detroit Tigers team that just sold off Flaherty, Carson Kelly, and Mark Canha, and a Detroit Tigers team that has Riley Green, Reese Olson, and Kerry Carpenter on the IL. They already lost the series, and they might get swept by the Tigers at this point. So that's nice to play spoiler. But also, I mentioned it yesterday too with the Tigers winning Game 1 as well. But I'm going to go to Game 2. Tarek Skubal. You know, the Tigers kept him. They have him under contract for at least 2 more years. He's part of the immediate future. He looked dominant. He's continuing on his Cy Young campaign. Parker Meadows had himself a hell of a game with one of the best catches you'll see to rob a go-ahead home run and a couple of hits. Even a guy like Matt Vierling, who, when you hear the name Matt Vierling, you don't think necessarily as part of the Tigers' future, but he's under team control for 3 more years. And the thing about Matt Vierling is, despite everything that's gone on this year, he's just been steady Eddie, had himself a hell of a season. And hell, he might be more of a factor in the future than we think as Tigers fans. And of course, Wensiel Perez hit a home run. He's a guy who in recent weeks has kind of fallen off a little bit. I'd like to see him finish strong and solidify himself as somebody who could potentially be on this team when they're ready to win. But yeah, it's all about what we're evaluating in terms of players for the Tigers' future. Yep. And if some of them can play good baseball, it'll make things a lot more encouraging. I'll just say that.
Yeah, and you know, it makes it so much more of I guess, an easier watch because they did do something at the trade deadline. They didn't stand pat.
Yeah.
It's an investment in what they want to see and what they want to make happen in the future, as well as, I think, really shining a spotlight on what they see happening in the minors right now and some of the young players that are up here performing well. To me, it's going to be fun to watch these Tigers because it's the way that I want to see this team. If you're going to be losing, then do it with the young guys in the lineup. Do it with the future squarely in mind and there being a roadmap pointing there. And that's what I do believe that at least it's off the trade deadline. Whether it went the way that people wanted it to or not, they did make a move. They did what they had to do. They got rid of some of these one-year contracts. They kept Skubal, so it's going to give you a few fun nights of baseball in the second half of the season, while understanding that, you know what, within like probably a year or two, this Tigers team could be looking pretty good.
I mean, did I love the fact that Baez, McKinstry, and Urshela were in the lineup on the same night? I don't love that Rogers is in either, but he's Tarek Skubal's personal catcher. Did I like that all those guys were in the lineup last night? Of course not. I'd rather there be a total youth movement moving forward. But like I said, a guy like Parker Meadows, I think with his tough start to the year, even though he's always been a great defensive center fielder, he was written off by some. I don't even know if I say given up on him, but when you hit under 100 in that much of a sample size, there's something rotten there. At least he had to get some things fixed up.
He looks different.
He does. He 100%
at the beginning
does.
of the season, he didn't look like he belonged. And yes, he shows signs, plays where he looks a little out of it, specifically in the batter's box. Mm-hmm. But there are other times when he does connect with the ball where it's like, man, this dude could be a 10-year major leaguer. Could be that center fielder of the future that they're going to have to make a decision. Who plays center, Meadows or Clark? Like we want them to have to make that decision. The catch he made in the it was the top of the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah.
Bottom of the ninth, robbing Cal Raleigh with a runner on. They would have won the game, or Seattle would have gone up by 1 run. Again, catch of the year nominee. And last thing I want to say about Skubal, he is the best in the MLB at doing the most important, at executing the most important pitch in baseball. Do you guys know what the most important pitch is?
Tell me.
The first pitch strike. And he is the best in baseball at doing that. And that's not one of those titles that you necessarily want. Usually if you're a pitcher, if you're leading the league in first pitch strikes, that means the hitters, they can not sit back and wait, but get aggressive and attack a strike because they know it's coming. But he's so good at throwing 3 or 4 different pitches for a strike and not right down the middle, around the strike zone. It's really difficult for guys to jump all over a pitch like that. And then for him to start out 1-0 or 0-1 every single batter, part of what makes him special, part of why he's that bulldog. And we could see last night, he can go deep into a game. Like there's usually 1 inning in these games where he gets 20, 25, 28 pitches. He's got to limit that. But we could see him turning into one of those guys that can go 7, 8, 9 each time out. So that's what I got to say about Scoobs.
Yeah, no, definitely. And again, with the Tigers, it was different the first half of the season watching them, realizing that they had the recipe to potentially challenge for a wild card spot. And the contrast now on the flip side, it's okay. They've committed to now what they want to do for these young guys. And to your point, Flannel, hopefully the next phase of that is getting rid of some guys like Javi Baez. Launch him to the moon, right?
Hey, yes. Put Trey Sweeney in that as the starting shortstop tomorrow. At least I would. I know the Tigers aren't going to do that, but it's still good to see some of the young guys in the last couple of days, some of the guys that are a part of the Tigers' future, at least we think, do well against a team that's contending for the playoffs.
Hey, it's nice to see. Yep. It's nice to see. But I got to tell you guys about Premier Pet Supply. You already know that these Lions about to feast tonight. They're going to feast. I don't care if this is preseason. We're still getting amped. Detroit Lions football. I can tell you where you can take your pet to feast on the best. That is Premier Pet Supplies, hands down Michigan's best pet store. They're offering you the same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box retailers with one major difference. They've been family and locally owned and operated for over 30 plus years. They carry over 60 brands of food and nutrition experts to help you same day. Local curbside and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. Or visit them online, www.premierpetsupply.com.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet, together, let's drive. You can drive on down to Dispo. Hey, like we'll be tomorrow. How would you like $10 of free products from Dispo Dispensary? Screenshot this image with the QR code and bring it into any Dispo location, and you'll get a free $10 to spend in store with a minimum purchase of $25. Visit Dispo Dispensary today or disposhops.com. Dispo Dispensary, your local cannabis plug.
And welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off the day with the Woo Crew. It's a Lions game day, so I'm amped up and I am on one. I need the chat family to be on one as well. Going ahead and satisfy that like button, people. You got to treat it nice. Treat it right. Treat it like you want to be treated. Let's rock.
Yeah, I always got my mic off when this happens. Kool-Aid,
hey,
go
let's
ahead,
run that back, DJ.
People.
We're going to run that back one more again.
I got you.
We got to give people time to file in, man. You feel me?
Let's rock.
Foreplay.
A little bit of foreplay. A little bit of foreplay.
Like
Let's
Randy
rock.
Wise.
And Randy Wise. Oh my God. All right, let's get it.
For some.
Hey,
There we go.
there it is. Kool-Aid, go ahead, serenade the people, man. Oh, I know you just got out that shower, nice, hot, and steamy. Go ahead and just hit that like button on that phone. Thank you.
Let's rock, man.
Now, not often is violence encouraged in the bedroom. It has to be consensual. But out on the football field.
What?
Is that right? How do we do that? Out on the football
Broder
field.
is back.
On the football field, violence is encouraged. In fact, it's taught. The Lions, are they getting... I put Kirby and Co. for a reason on this. Like, is the team getting looked at as dirty players, as a dirty team? I'm going to believe that we don't believe, at least I don't believe it. It doesn't feel like Lions fans believe it. We understand Dan Campbell and the message he's sending, but this shit keeps floating around social media, different fan bases, all this crazy stuff about Kerby Joseph revisiting the Hawkinson and the Higbee hits. I'm like, the two hits that weren't flagged last year, to remind everybody. Like, what do you guys think of the reputation of this Detroit Lions team? A, B, does a reputation matter? And C, are you excited to play some violent football?
Do you see my face?
I see it.
Do you see this cheese right here, Flannel?
I do.
Bro, I love this. You know why? Because it wasn't like the Detroit Lions were out there costing themselves last year, getting flagged out the wazoo. What I saw was hard hits, the refs sitting there looking at it, and then the other players saying, wah, 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 and I absolutely love it. This is what I want. This is what I want. If the league and the referees are like clean football, but everybody else is going around crying, all of our opponents and their fan bases, this is exactly what I want. This is chef's kiss for me, man. This makes me tease and grin and everything, because how is it not exactly what Dan Campbell described on day one? It's exactly what he talked about. This is what taking a chunk out of someone's butt cheek looks like. This is what biting kneecaps looks like. This is what, if we get knocked down, we're literally going to get back up. Like, you got to knock us out if you want to take us out. That's the Dan Campbell approach. So right now you got guys crying because there's a totally different level of work that these guys have put in my opinion. There's a completely different level that these Detroit Lions are on, and they're not used to the Lions being the bullies. Now they are.
You absolutely have to embrace this if you're a Lions fan, because you have no choice. You're never going to change the hearts and minds of, I'm just going to say, Vikings fans and Rams fans. And I think in the case of the dirty player reputation, it's more specific to Kerby Joseph. The reality is, like you said, Kool-Aid, and like you've said before, Broder, is that when you're a safety, there's not a whole lot of places you can hit anymore. And the reality is where Kerby Joseph hit both TJ Hawkinson and Tyler Higbee was not flagged. And I get it. If you're a Vikings fan and had to watch TJ Hawkinson go out for the season, I get it why you're a little bit upset. But you're also upset because the Lions kicked your ass a couple of times. I'll just say that as well. That has a lot. That has a lot to do with it.
Stank on it.
That has a lot to do with it as well. And you're never going to convince Vikings fans of anything of the like that Kerby Joseph isn't dirty. And if you're the Rams, think about this. If Tyler Higbee makes that catch, the one in which Kerby Joseph hit him and dislodged the ball, the Rams probably kick a go-ahead field goal. We never know what happens after that. The Lions might have had time to go down and kick a game-winning field goal of themselves, but that was a very consequential hit by Kerby Joseph. And as has been said by everybody, it was not flagged. If Kerby Joseph hits him near the head, it is flagged. Mm-hmm. What is Kerby Joseph supposed to do? And the end result of specifically that play, you could argue that, I don't want to say it was game-saving, but it was game-preserving is what it was. So that's the thing. They're not just mad because, Kerby Joseph took out both of their tight ends. They're also mad because the Lions are beating them. Mm-hmm. The Rams did not advance. The Lions did. And Kerby Joseph preserved the game with that hit. He just did.
He just did. And you know what? Steve-O Baby, I see. He said, so Kool-Aid, when the Super Bowl is on the line and they make a dumb penalty, you're not going to get mad about that? When has that ever been this team's identity? They've played with, what did he call it? Because, Broder, you were at that press conference. Controlled fury or octane or something. Yeah. It's what their identity is. It's to play to the line, but not to cross it unless you have to. And you know what? We hear like DJ Moore complaining and crying about Alexander Lilly hits too hard. He hits after the whistle. And I'm going to say, no, he doesn't. We play through the whistle like everybody else does. You just got a problem that you're on the other end of our boots on your face and you on the ground. The Lions are nobody's pushover anymore. Like, if they were getting flagged, if this was the Sioux Lions and they were costing themselves, like we saw religiously, then yes, I would be like, you know what? There's something different you have to do. But when you're playing to whatever the league is saying is okay, then completely fine with it. Completely fine with it. If the reputation is when you step to the Lions' porch, when you come out on your own door, because Dan Campbell said, we're going to be in your porch. You don't got to go far to look for us. That you're in for a fight, that's how I want everybody coming in, because you know what? They're already off their game. They weren't formed in this. Dan Campbell formed his team in this. Every other team to try and match the level of what the Lions are as it relates to their aggression and their physicality, they're not going to have to play out of character. They're not going to have to do a few extra different things to try and keep up with where the Lions are. And then what are you going to see them doing in the middle of the game? In the middle of the biggest game of your season, Stafford, you're worried about KERBY Joseph being dirty on a play that wasn't flagged? Y'all was off your kilt. And Dan Campbell got you because his team was ready. That's what was so disappointing about the 49ers thing. Because there are a few teams in this league, to me, that carry that same type of DNA. And they're the ones at the top. The Lions got to figure out a way when they face those squads to continue as it relates to consistency. And I think that they got the DNA this year, but this crying stuff and this people who think that the Lions are playing a little bit over the edge to cost themselves, I just don't see it.
Well, to the losers usually go the crying. And I'm not saying that Rams fans or Vikings fans or the Rams or Vikings are losers in terms of organizationally. I'm talking about last season, they took the L to the Lions. Those two teams combined were 0-3 against the Lions, and the Rams lost in the playoff game. And as I said before, it wasn't a great throw by Stafford anyway, but hearing Tyler Higbee, hearing those footsteps, getting hit, probably prevented him from possibly making like one of those tip drill type of catches that would have given the Rams a first down and field goal range with a chance to kick the go-ahead field goal. So KERBY Joseph, the reality is, and I saw the Shaquille Oatmeal in the chat say like, Broder, how about you address this one, because
if it
you
was
can
the
read
same one you had.
The
Shaquille Oatmeal says, "Do I like the low hits KERBY does? No, but WTF else is he supposed to do? You literally get flagged for anything else." And that's kind of the point of it. And I don't know if it was Steve O'Baby or Steve DeYoung. I'm not sure what point he was trying to make, but I think within that statement is the point of he is playing within the rules. Sometimes the hits he does, they look dirty or they look questionable, but that's what they're taught to do. That's what the NFL incentivizes with the lack of penalty throwing. JB, could you play the clip against the Vikings in Week 16? This is 3 weeks before they played the Rams. This is the type of hit that KERBY Joseph, he gets flagged for. It's up in the middle of Justin Jefferson's chest, right at the ball, putting his shoulder in the crown of the ball. What we think, or what people are asking for, clean place, hit in the middle of the body. Hit up, not low. This happens. This is about, I think it was 6.5 minutes left in the game. The Vikings are down 9, or they're down, maybe it was one possession. So this is a big play. He also hurts his shoulder on this. KERBY Joseph does. So we're talking about a big play, 15-yard penalty, hurt shoulder, for what people want is clean. And then you go to that Higbee play 3 weeks later. I have a problem with not necessarily what Matthew Stafford said, but that he said it, and that his Rams video department, social media team, they put it out on their mic'd up series. Like, play that one again real quick, JB, and then I'll put a bow on this because we're going to need the volume on it. What he says, there needs to be some context put around this because people are hearing the wrong things, in my opinion.
Stafford flips his hips, wings one middle, bobbled, and cut
There
down.
we go.
Tyler Higbee in dangerous play.
Stafford was not happy about the celebration by KERBY Joseph either.
Hey, that's a good hit. That's a good hit. You dirty as and you know it. You dirty as
There it is.
It makes no sense.
There it is.
I've seen it.
All right, you can bring it back to me, JB. So, the hit that everyone likes to share and post and call KERBY dirty, the Rams quarterback who threw the ball in that play says that is a good hit. That specific hit, that play that he saw in real time, clean. Now, when he goes and talks about KERBY Joseph being a dirty player, that's an opinion. That's a thought that he has. I don't know how many else think that, how many other players think that. That's an opinion he has with 5 minutes left, down by 1, his first game back against the Lions. He just sees his teammate, his best friend, go down with a serious knee injury. You think what he says in that moment should be taken with a grain of salt? Like, you think the Rams should maybe not put that moment out so that people around the league are hearing, oh, Kerby Joseph, he's a dirty player. We're talking about reputations on the line.
Especially
and we're
from
talking
a Super Bowl
about
winner.
a game where we know if people think he's dirty, they're going to take cheap shots on him. The more they hear that, the more you hear dirty player, those are the guys that get the cheap shots the most. So, yeah, I'm going to get passionate about standing up for one of our players who is not a dirty player. He's physical. He gets flagged for all the crap that is not being shared. But everything people are talking about, clean. The NFL deemed it clean. He's within the rules. Kerby Joseph's the guy.
He is. And you know what?
6 interceptions incoming.
When I was little, growing up, wanting the Lions to be one of these great teams that we saw when we were little, their defense right now and the way it's being talked about and the way you hear people crying about and other fans, it's the way that we cried about the Steelers defense, the Ravens defense when we were younger. We remember how those defenses look. It's the reason why even as grown-ups, now, years later, 15, 20, 30 years later, you know, we're still sitting here with those, like the Ravens, their defense. Even if years when they're just kind of sorry, we'll still be like the Ravens defense or the Steelers defense, their toughness. Now, all of a sudden, I believe that the Lions are that team in this era where football has gotten or tried to move towards a trend of more player safety, looking out for people's concussions, the head, the mind, longevity of career, longevity of having a good life after your career. So I do believe that contrast kind of puts the Lions in a little bit different light. But when you got the Lions being one of your now biggest threats, when you probably did not think of them at all, now you got everybody complaining about it.
Yep. And you know what? Playing physical defense, and even from time to time, and I did not relish Tyler Higbee or TJ Hawkinson getting torn ACLs. That's not what I'm saying. Because no, I certainly didn't want that. But every once in a while, if you make an offensive player feel it a little bit, there is certainly nothing wrong with that, especially when you don't get flagged. A good example of that would be Bruce Irvin on a Derek Carr against the Saints.
Yeah.
I'm not encouraging injury. I'm using that example because Derek Carr came back next week. But
he literally called that the week before too. Like,
oh yeah, that's right. I was always here. I was like, hey, he's gonna knock him out of the game.
But I mean, just honestly, if you asking me, I'm gonna try and keep this short. I could give two shits what the rest of the league thinks about the Lions. And if you're Kerby Joseph and the Lions, you shouldn't give two shits about what the rest of the league thinks of you. This ain't your granddaddy's Lions anymore. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, they are a confident team, they are a physical team, and now they are a winning team. There was no flags, there was no fines. This isn't Bountygate. Like, I don't understand. Like, all these hits were legal. And you may not have liked that, but that's fine. Just be more physical. Like, I don't understand. Dan Campbell told you what this was from day one, and I said it yesterday and maybe the day before. He's never had a problem with discipline on this team. He's never had a problem where players just go rogue and go into business for themselves. So this is a nothing burger. Get over it. Be more physical. Line it up.
Line it up.
Line it up. What are we talking about?
I love it, dog.
Malik Neighbors, line it up.
Yep.
You know what it is? The Lions are the 6-foot basketball player on the elementary school team. That's just what it is. And people are like, they're too physical, they're too tall, deal with it. You said it best. Line it up. You know, let me tell you about this Ally Challenge presented by McLaren. It's back August 22nd through the 25th at Warwick Hills, the PGA Tour Championship. It returns. So leave the golf to the pros. And you guys out there, KG, hole 17.
Come on, man.
Meet us at hole 17. $2 birdie beers, concerts, and more. Meet us there to figure out what that more is. How do you get there? Get your tickets at allychallenge.com. Brought to you by Randy Wise Automotive.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down. Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness, fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement, and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
What up, though? People, welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. Got the vet of the network over here, Flannel Sam. Hey, Detroit's #1 draft pick in the sound booth. That's KG. Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. We got our credentials, Tigers, and our Lions reporter and writer, Matthew Broder, in the building. It's your boy, Brandon Dent. Got business around here, man. And we're talking Detroit Lions training camp. Just got done talking about KERBY Joseph and co, the team, the reputation. Do you really care about the barking? Do you really care about the reputation? As long as they're playing clean, the team is down for it, man. So let's rock. But they got a game tonight. I know that there's not much victory lapping that Flannel Sam's going to do, even though I'm on like 72 of the Waymo victory lap preseason training camp tour.
Mm-hmm. I'm just stretching the legs. That's all.
Listen, bro, I promise you, if J-Mo shows out like 60 yards and a touchdown tonight.
Stop it. Stop it.
I'm staying for Big D Energy tomorrow. Oh, man, but let's get into it, man. Non-starters, because we already know through preseason, it's going to be a lot of the rookies, guys trying to make the team, your backups and such, your rotation players, looking to make an impression. And so what I want to ask you guys is, what role player are you looking forward to the most in this preseason?
Well, first, we got to see first what they're going to be wearing out on the field tonight. Because I think that, you know, if you want to uplift the role players,
well, you know what?
You want to uplift them, you got to look good and you got to feel good. Let's show this real quick and then get into the conversation. Not to cut you off.
No, you're good.
So we got the whites,
nice.
JB?
Yep, we got the whites this week, tonight that they're going to be rocking, though. Newer, whiter jerseys, obviously. Everything matches with the helmet and socks. So, I mean, it looks kind of clean to me, even though this isn't my preferable jersey. But still, it looks clean.
Are they all white, or is that blue? What's the blue Nike sign? Like, where is that? Or are these marshmallows?
No, I don't think these are marshmallows. Okay. These are the Roar uniforms. I believe that's what they're called, the 313s.
Okay.
So I don't know what that blue is. I feel like that's like a headband or something.
Maybe, yeah.
Got you. All right, well, there it is.
That's
Sorry, Kool-Aid, back to you.
No, it's very appropriate. It's a game day.
Oh, yeah.
Game day. Let's get started with the unis first. Shout out to Burn as well. $10 super chat. He said, you know you are good when other teams are whining that you are too good.
Yep.
Like your little brother throwing his controller because you are mopping the floor with them in Smash.
It's fair.
It's so appropriate, man. Chat is definitely on one. Continue to engage in the chat family. I need you guys as well to tell me what role players are you looking forward to the most this preseason. Gotta start with you, Flannel.
Ooh, all right. So I have one in particular. I'm just making sure that he's healthy and not hurt. One second. It looks like he's active. For me, this is an easy one. The role player that I am looking forward to watching the most, and I think has the most to prove, is one Donovan Peoples-Jones. And here's why. This is a man who in 2022 with the Browns had over 60 catches for over 800 receiving yards. His first 3 seasons in the league, he basically had steady, linear improvement every single season. Last year, statistically, was not a good year for him. And when you're a guy who is as talented and as many physical tools as Donovan Peoples-Jones. And this is with all due respect to him. It should be an embarrassment that he's fighting for a roster spot with a guy like Darius Fountain. It should be an embarrassment that the heavyweights are basically blowing loads over Darius Fountain for what he's doing in training camp while basically saying Donovan Peoples-Jones, didn't even really notice him. It should be embarrassing that you're fighting for a roster spot with a guy like Caden Davis, undrafted Caden Davis, 7th rounder Antoine Green. And I'm not disrespecting those guys. I'm just saying that Donovan Peoples-Jones has way more raw talent, probably more raw talent than all three of those guys I mentioned combined. And we're not really hearing much out of him when it comes to training camp. On the first unofficial roster, it looks like Donovan Peoples-Jones is kind of anywhere between wide receiver 5 and wide receiver 8. He's got to show out, and he's actually might be fighting for a roster spot, and he has to show out in the preseason. He has no choice.
Jeez, you know, that's a great one. That's great. I don't even know if there's one that tops it for me when you're talking about DPJ and everything we talked about with the biggest questions facing this offense. To me, it is the wide receiver room. Not necessarily the pass catchers, because I have a lot of faith, obviously, in Sam Laporta. I like the fact they brought back Brock Wright. I'm hoping that Jahmyr Gibbs gets involved. When you're talking about Donovan Peoples-Jones, that was a guy that we thought, hey, you know what? You're losing Josh Reynolds, who was supposed to be Mr. Reliable, somebody who had this chemistry. And we thought that DPJ, who was shown in the past, that he could be a similar type of player, that, you know what? We could depend on that and maybe get a little bit more out of his frame, out of his athleticism, and to know that to this point he hasn't really made any real movement. It's a little bit disappointment.
It is. And Ryan's reaction, talent doesn't mean ish without dedication. But the thing about Donovan Peoples-Jones, though, is that we saw it in Cleveland. And a lot of us, I even said that in a perfect world, given talent for talent, that he could even put up a more productive season than Josh Reynolds if he gets himself right. But I don't think people understand. Darius Fountain is a guy who's been basically a journeyman on different practice squads in the NFL, has 2 catches his entire career. And right now, Darius Fountain, it looks like is more likely to make the team than DPJ.
Crazy.
Cannot happen.
Yep.
Hopefully will not happen. Got to show out in preseason, Donovan Peoples-Jones. And remember, when you do, look back at me as your motivator.
Now, I have a question. I don't know if this person is considered a role player or not, but James Houston.
Hell yeah.
Does he count?
Yes.
How would he be a role player? Yeah.
Okay, that's a guy who I'm looking. We talked about him a little bit yesterday, and for the better part of a season and a half now, we've been sitting here saying, just wait till we get James Houston back. Just wait till we get James Houston back. That's a guy that I'm hoping we see a lot more from, not just preseason, obviously, but during the season, because we understand the high potential talent that he has of what he put out there on season 1. We're talking about getting somebody nasty to pair with Aiden Hutchinson, at least in a rotation on the other side of that line. If James Houston is right, this defensive line is right. I believe Aleem McNeil is going to ball.
That's a great one. Man, if James Houston can even give you some of the pass rushing prowess you saw from him in 2022, this could be certainly a dangerous defense. Matt Broder, I want to hear from you. Which role player are you looking forward to watching in the preseason tonight?
Yeah, and I see some good ones in the chat. Mike Reed, Vaki, and Levi. TK85. John Effing Lord. And then Hooker, Michael Weary, Broderick Martin. I see some good ones. I'm gonna go with Colby Sorsdale.
Not bad.
And I was deciding between any of the backup offensive linemen, maybe even backup interior offensive linemen, but Colby Sorsdale to me is the guy I'm fascinated with, because they moved him to guard. I don't know if that's going to be the position he plays long term. It seems like they're working him as a swing tackle. Whether that's in Skipper's spot in some points or backing up Taylor Decker or Penei Sewell. I just want to see what kind of jump he made season to season, because there were times last year it looked brutal. There were times where it's like, all right, I see a little something there. He was thrown into the mix pretty early. I think it was the Falcons game, and you could tell it was just a lot. He's experienced, but he did come from William and Mary, so he just needs time. I'm excited to see the jump he made from year 1 to year 2. Colby Sorsdale. Yeah. I also think backup offensive line, it's an important part of this team.
Absolutely.
Very, very important. So, KG?
Yes, KG.
Yeah, sure. And I like everybody's pick so far. Sam, you eloquated that good with DPJ. Also, somebody that Dan Campbell even came out in the press conference and said they haven't got what they expected to get out of him. So hopefully he can come out and at least get that fourth wide receiver role. Like, even if you're not wide receiver 3, fine, but you have to make this team, I feel like, if you're DPJ. Of course, James Houston, another great one. I love what you said with Kobe Sorsdahl. Me, it's more of a unit. I want to see that interior defensive line, man. Broderick Martin, Levi Onwuzurike in particular, and maybe even Mekhi Wingo if he gets some snaps tonight. Not sure if he will, but Levi O, somebody that, you know, that's been on this team a long time, has had an injury history, and that kind of seemed like he may fall by the wayside. Also, Broderick Martin, somebody that has come back kind of on a mission. He changed his body. Didn't really see him a lot last year. He was a 3rd round pick project that the Lions knew they were going to have to work on. So I just want to see what they look like, because the substitutes on that interior defensive line are going to be really integral part of this defensive success, man, going forward, especially when you got a guy like DJ Reader who's injury prone and things of that nature. They're going to be using that as a rotational area, and you want to see Levi O and Broderick Martin do well.
Yep. And you know what? You broke that down so eloquently yourself.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, he started off by making sure to compliment all of our selections, and then he did that. But KG, I'm a little disappointed in you.
Why?
No masturbates?
Cool. Well, of course I'll be watching the kickers, man. Absolutely. Also want to see what Hendon is going to bring to us, but absolutely, I'm definitely going to be watching the kicking tonight.
Well, but KG, like, honestly, Levi O and Broderick Martin, those are good ones.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, based on what you've seen from them in games, those are probably 2 of Brad Holmes' biggest misses up to this point.
Yeah.
But what I've been hearing out of Levi Onwuzurike in training camp, what I heard from old Kevin Zeitler, leads me to believe that we might be getting more from Levi Onwuzurike than maybe we ever imagined. So that is certainly exciting. And just imagine if Levi Onwuzurike and Broderick Martin are good rotational interior defensive linemen.
That D-line is stacked.
That D-line is potentially stacked.
Yeah.
You've got guys who you're comfortable being backups actually getting to be backups. It's interesting. Can't wait to see it.
And if you track it back to, I think it was the 2021 NFL draft where Levi went, if he pans out, I don't know if Jamar Jefferson really is going to, but people are talking about him having a great training camp. We're talking about a 100% hit rate on that draft. Absolute insanity. Insanity. These have been some really good options. I think coming out of break, I want to ask you, since we didn't hit all of them, like, is there a certain role player that is the most important to this team and their success? Like, whether they're coming out of their shell and they become a reliable starter or something, or in their current role, like, is that most important? Because I think there's a guy we also have to talk about who we may need leading this offense at some point. Hopefully not, but maybe.
Yeah. JB, we'll kick it off with you in the next segment.
Perfect.
But I gotta read this some keys to wisdom just for my guy Flannel here. It's a couple names here, right? DPJ was judged in the offseason. No other team wanted him at all. He gets a vet minimum deal with us, kind of like Killian Hayes of the NFL.
No.
We gotta go to break.
No.
We gotta go to break.
That's tough.
That's tough.
That is tough.
We're not going to shame DPJ's name like that. He's a fine Michigan man.
Like, someone invoked Killian Hayes. He got cut by his hometown team, the French national team, while DPJ is getting an opportunity with his hometown team.
And DPJ did more in 2022 than Killian Hayes did with the Pistons in any of his respective seasons. I know it's difficult to compare sports, but Donovan Peoples-Jones, my point with him being disappointing if he doesn't make this team is that he was on the come up.
Yeah.
And then he fell off a cliff.
A borderline 1,000-yard receiver.
I thought he might get it in 2023 with the Browns.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen.
I bet he's a better basketball player than Killian, too. By the way. I'm serious. DPJ, he's a baller.
You would know.
He's a baller. Yeah. He can hoop.
Go blue.
He can hoop.
I love the Woo Crew. I'm glad that you guys do as well. Thank you for supporting us every day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., especially when we get game days, man. But after us, I'm hoping you guys are staying tapped in with the rest of Woodward Sports Network, starting with Big D Energy, 11-1. Hey, 4-time Sunday Cup winner Darren McCarty, alongside his co-host, the Golden Voice, Neil Rule. After that, you got Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. You see Maz up there alongside University of Michigan legend and former NFL wide receiver Brandon Edwards, and Detroit Media King, Fox 2 Ryan Ermanni. Then end the day with the Woodward Heavyweights, the big fellas from 5 to 7. spin more racks. Speak easy, baby, and their elite booth. Nick Koloff, Chris Platty, Caleb Joel, and everybody else who's a part of the Woodward Heavyweights. Thank you guys for supporting us and making Woodward Sports your #1 digital sports outlet.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
The Great American Chevy Week is back and bigger than ever at Feldman Chevrolet. Choose from the largest inventory of award-winning Chevys, all priced to move for the biggest week of the year. Get this 2024 Silverado for only $213 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $249 a month. Feldman takes the Great American Chevy Week to another level. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues, Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. With 10-plus years of experience and 24/7 availability. Scan the QR code on the screen right there above my head or call 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys kicking off the day with the crew. It's a game day, man. Detroit Lions, New York Giants tonight at 7 on Fox, unless you want to listen to the GOAT of GOATs, Dan Miller, especially if the Lions score a touchdown. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. I love it, man. Shout out to Big Dan Davis, $5 super chat. Said, I'm looking forward to seeing how Matthew Betts does. CFL sack master. We signed this offseason. Who has got some work at Sam linebacker? I'm interested in him as well. I mean, a guy who had the level of production he did, broke the record for the most sacks in the season, probably one of their more prolific defensive players ever. Hey, it'll be cool to see what he does.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm not holding my breath, but it's another one where if Matthew Betts gives you anything, my goodness. Wow. Like even more depth on this defensive line.
Yep.
That's right. And we were talking about what role players we want to see. Chat family, continue to get yours into the chat. What are you looking forward to seeing, whether it's a particular player or, as KG went, a position group through preseason as we head into the regular season? And we got to kick things off with JB-Smoov.
Jay Bizzle.
Now, you know, you guys, I'm not going to sit here and pick Hendon Hooker, even though I will be studying this guy intently tonight, especially when he's starting. But for me, I think...
And Hooker will be a good one, though.
Yeah, definitely. Hooker would be a good one as well, too. But for me, it's got to be Broderick Martin, just because last season he was the Lions, basically their rookie project that they were kind of working on. And now you see him coming back to training camp. He's slimmed down. He's put on some muscle. And given the fact that DJ Reader is also a little bit sidelined at this time as well, too, he's getting some snaps with the first team reps as well at nose tackle, especially with the run defense. So tonight, I really want to see him kind of feast on this New York Giants offense, especially as well, too, because it's not as settled and as set for them as it is for us. So I definitely think he will have a big night tonight.
Ooh, that's a good one, Broderick Martin. One other question that was posed in the prep was which role player, and you tease this, will end up really breaking out this year. I mean, that's kind of what it said, but that's how I'm going to take it. Which role player is really going to play an important role for this team? And for me, I'm going to go with Josh Paschal. Because
I love it. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, there is, at the absolute worst, I think Josh Paschal has the potential to be your best depth pass rusher. And I get it, in his first couple of seasons, he's had some injury concerns. He hasn't put up the numbers with either the sacks or the QB hits that you would like. However, he's always been pretty decent against the run. He's had some flashes where he has looked borderline dominant. Very small flashes, but you've still seen them. And if he plays the role as a depth piece guy, I think he's perfect for it. But when you have some question mark at the opposite edge rusher as Aiden Hutchinson, a guy with the talent and the upside of Josh Paschal, if he has to even start a game or two, I'd feel more comfortable with him doing it than, obviously we don't wish him injury, a guy like John Kaminsky, somebody with that talent, somebody that you've seen him do it at a high level in college and at times in the NFL. Give me Josh Paschal as having a role player breakout season.
I love it. I love it. And there's a player I really want to go with that Stephen Baffey just dropped in the chat. But I'm going to go with Levi O. Nice. I'm going to go with Levi O. I know there's hype out of camp, but if he is what people are saying he looks like, if he is even a shell of what we thought he could be, that's a huge addition that we weren't really planning on for this defensive line. At least I wasn't. Like, I thought he was going to be one of those cut candidates if he didn't show out in training camp. So if you can end up with 8 sacks out of him, 7 to 10, like that, I think is doable if he's healthy, no doubt. And if he does that, that completely changes this defensive line. Less pressure on Davenport, less pressure on Houston. Then it's just whatever you get out of them is gravy. So if Levi L can break out like he looked,
I like gravy.
I think that's a player that can make the biggest difference for this team if he does what he's been doing in camp.
Yep, and you teased Stephen Baffey. Let me know if this is the post you were talking about. Stephen Baffey, long term, Barnes should be our Sam and Anzalone our weak side. Jack Campbell really has his work cut out for him. He needs to get better at pass rush and coverage, in my honest opinion. Hey, a little bit of love linebacker attention. A little bit of linebacker attention. Yeah, we all want to see Jack Campbell step up. Obviously, that if there's a position group, I'm obviously looking at the linebackers. They're the group that we're looking to see the most internal growth from, because they didn't add anything to that position group. The defensive secondary got it in the draft, as well as free agency, as well as the defensive line through free agency. This is a group that I'm really hoping that everything they were saying about Jack Campbell leading up to this, that he's a guy that looks like the leader of that linebacker room now. Yeah. And it's not going to be easy to do because of the persona, the alpha wolf type character that Alex Anzalone is and the improvements he's made. And then you look at Derek Barnes, who we're expecting him to not have a drop-off. That's the other component of it. Don't have that drop-off. At least be what you were last year towards the end of that season with Derek Barnes.
Why does it seem like if Jack Campbell takes a leap that there's a possibility that every unit of this defense is good?
I'm trying to tell you.
Seriously, because Jack Campbell, he had some growing pains. Of course he did. But he also did some things really well, like put up a pretty good tackle number, and he was also good against the run. I also think Jack Campbell, he's the type of guy that if Aaron Glenn puts him in good situations, i.e. not have to cover a guy like George Kittle one-on-one, he's a guy that can improve in pass coverage. He is more talented than both Derek Barnes and Alex Anzalone. But I also don't expect really a regression from veterans like Anzalone and Barnes. So if Jack Campbell can really seize the leadership of the linebacker role, or at least attempt to ascend to it with Alex Anzalone still there, then this linebacker unit, which just a couple years ago looked like, dog poo, all of a sudden could be pretty good. Actually, if Jack Campbell, if he has a leap, it's a very good unit all of a sudden.
I like it.
Yes.
I like it. Yeah,
yes.
Flannel the last couple days has had me on this optimistic trip, man. Just bottle that up. Yeah. I want to be able to package that, save some for the road.
Jack Campbell's a talented player, man. Like, there's a reason why he was a first-round linebacker.
Made a lot of people mad.
It did, and he didn't have as good of a rookie season as guys like Gibbs and Branch and Laporta at their respective positions, but he wasn't a slouch. Mm-hmm. He got more playing time and more integrated as time went along. He got a lot of experience in big games, and he did, as I continue to pound the table for, like so many other people did on this Lions defense, excel for a rookie against the run.
Hey, you know what?
Good part of being a linebacker.
And he's got guys chasing him too.
Yes.
Like I shouldn't say chasing, challenging him. Derek Barnes, he came onto the scene last year, and all signs point to him continuing to progress. So Jalen Reeves-Maybin, I think, is going to get some more time at linebacker. He's special teams champion, the best special teams player in the league. But I think he's going to get some more time at linebacker too, and Malcolm Rodriguez. So they're all bringing the most out of each other. That unit is starting to become a strength. They might need one more year together, one more year of Jack progressing. Sure. But KJ, JB, do you guys have any thoughts on this? And do any of you have anything to say about Parker Hess?
No, I'm good on Parker Hess, man. No offense, but I do feel like people are really sleeping on Jack Campbell, man. Like, the guy is going to have a breakout year, mark my words. But I've got to stay with the defensive line. I got to go James Houston as my breakout role player. And I don't think he needs to replicate what he did his rookie year, but if he can give us 4 to 5 sacks, maybe even 6, I think that's a successful year, man. I just need to see him be able to recapture that style of play that he had before he got injured, that had that same bend, getting around the tackle and finishing the play that he did that rookie season. So I would pick him as my breakout role player.
I like that as well, too. I got to go with James Houston as well, too. I called it this past season, especially on the heavyweights as well, too, that he was going to lead the team in sacks. It didn't really go as planned with the injuries and everything like that. But my man is coming back with a vengeance, and I definitely think he will make an impact. And, hell, he could be right up there with Aiden as well, too, with sacks. So give me James Houston.
Sheesh. I like it. I like it. The linebacker love, the James Houston love, that's music to my ears. Mm-hmm. For me, obviously, we talked about it with the linebackers, Jack Campbell. Going ahead and wrestle that thing away. And just kind of one more note on this. When this organization, especially from Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, have gone out on a limb and stated what they believe their player can do, despite what the fans think. They did this with Jared Goff. Now he can make any throw that we believe that we'd ever ask him to. And he does this stuff. And we've heard them say this with several other players. They've said this with Jack Campbell, that he's ready to be that leader. What if they're right?
Well, there usually are. That's the great thing about this regime is they draft players that play. They draft players that are all pros. They draft players that are Pro Bowlers. They draft players that are starters on NFC Championship teams, and they're also more transparent than other organizations. So if they're pretty high on Jack Campbell, especially given the fact that, as I've mentioned before, he did show a lot of promise his rookie season.
Yeah.
I have no choice but to believe him.
Let's go. Let's go. It's awesome. It's awesome. All the linebacker love. I appreciate you, chat family. I can tell you about something else that's awesome, too. It's when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. All you got to do is stop in, sit back, and relax, and let one of Lady Jane's talented hairstylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. It's Lady Jane's, and it is wicked awesome.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How? Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisechevy.com.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. It's 24/7 professional monitoring, so you can call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone with you as long as needed, because it is technology that is backed by people. That matters. I hate when I get on those systems and you can't get nobody on the phone. Hey, Guardian, you won't have that problem. Your safety and security, it deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who've been proven to care. All you got to do is call this number right here, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Once again, that number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. We got FAB back in the building, and it feels so good. Welcome back. It's Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys for kicking off today with the Woo Crew. Hope you guys have smashed that like button. If you haven't, go ahead and hit the like button. We got more Detroit Lions talk. Detroit Lions training, and not just training camp anymore. We get to see them in the pads, on the field. Preseason game number 1 tonight, 7 o'clock versus the Giants. I can't wait. We were talking about the potential role players, the role players that we want to see tonight through preseason. Chat family, continue to get yours in the chat, but we got to talk about what used to be the most popular position amongst the most popular football position, and Terry Foster will say this, so I got to credit him, amongst all Detroit Lions fans, which was the backup quarterback. We don't really have those issues anymore because Jared Goff has proven to be that guy. He's taking us to new heights. But in a season where you have Super Bowl expectations, for other teams, we've seen where backup quarterbacks have played huge roles to make sure that those teams' expectations can still be met. So I do believe, especially with it being preseason game number 1, we're going to see a lot of these players. We got to talk about Nate Sudfeld and Hendon Hooker as Lions backup quarterback, man. Ben Johnson. You know what? It's appropriate. Let's tee this thing up because Ben Johnson has a lot of confidence in Hendon Hooker. Got to ask the crew if you guys have the same amount of confidence after we've heard from training camp. JB, let's play that video.
Yeah, listen, we've taken an approach. We're coaching him hard, which means we're throwing a lot on him. And when he makes a mistake, we're letting him know about it. And that's what we believe in. That's what we believe in because if he can handle that, then once he gets to these preseason games, it's going to be a cinch for him. He's really going to click, and I really think he's going to flourish because of that. So he's feeling it. He felt it a lot in the springtime. I think at this point now, he's got a comfort level. Those 6 weeks off during the summer, all the young guys, but especially Hendon, I mean, you can tell that he really worked at his craft. He worked on calling the plays, getting in and out of the huddle, the procedure of it, because once he got that part right, now we can see his talent really coming to life. He's been a lot more accurate here in training camp. You've seen him on the move a little bit more. I think once we get into games, we'll see his legs really be a benefit for us. So I'm pleased with the growth he had from the springtime here to camp, and we'll continue to see how far we can push him here over the next few weeks.
All right. Flannel,
Yes!
have we backed ourselves into a corner here? Because, I hear you, JP. The reports that we've heard through training camp has been that it's been kind of meh. But we hear Ben Johnson say, oh, no. He's going to be exactly what we need. And you just said, if they're saying it, who are we to not believe them?
Well, here's the difference in Jack Campbell and Hendon Hooker. And this isn't disparaging Hendon Hooker. Yeah. So I stop typing. Stop typing. So with Jack Campbell, you actually saw some legitimate promise his rookie season to where there's something to build on. With Hendon Hooker, we still don't know. The first time any of us are going to see him on an NFL field is in the preseason. Right. So given the fact that Brad Holmes put his faith in him and drafted him gives him more of a bump than if other GMs did it, but I need to see what he looks like in the preseason for me to really have 100% faith in Hendon Hooker. I liked the draft pick at the time. However, I didn't know at the time where the Lions drafted him that they would end up giving Goff an extension. So it's likely that this pick ends up being something that's a nothing burger, but if he shows out in preseason, because he's somebody who needs to show out in preseason, it's imperative for him, then I might have faith in him being somebody that could come in and fill in for Jared Goff in a pinch. Knock on wood, of course. But as of right now, we'll see. It's a wait-and-see thing.
We'll see. We'll see tonight, and I'm excited to watch him, to actually see him in game situations, not even on a training camp field. Like, we're going to see him struggle at some point tonight. I don't think it's going to be a perfect night, but that doesn't mean we can't look for the good things. And like Ben Johnson said when I was joking, he's got legs. He's got traits that make him different, not just from Goff, but from a lot of other quarterbacks in the league. So how is Ben Johnson going to structure this offense long-term, but also to get him feeling good tonight? I think it's an important moment in his development, just getting out there, getting comfortable. My guess is we see a short pass in the flats to not Gibbs or Montgomery, but to Khalif Rain or Sione Vaki or Craig Reynolds, to get him feel a complete pass. Because after I hear what you guys say, there's an ESPN writer who put out a hypothetical trade involving the quarterback position, and I'm curious what you guys think about. But no, for me, I'm going to be watching Hooker closely tonight. This is test number one of being that number two, not having to go make a trade, letting Sudfeld be that number three.
Yeah,
just let him help Goff out.
Let him be Goff's best friend.
Yep, in the film room, let him just help Goff out there.
And I'm so glad that you've broken down the whole Nate Sudfeld, what he actually does and what he means to this team thing.
It's huge. But many think it's a nothing, and there might be when I'm not making eye contact with him.
You notice? You recognize it. I didn't look. My body kind of hedged. I was like, I wasn't going to look, but
he is valuable to Goff. He's not valuable to this team on the field.
Yeah, and you know what? Ben Johnson said something that, all Lions fans' ears started perking up. Oh, yeah, his legs are getting going. And you know what? Hendon Hooker, that's a player that gets JB-Smoov going. Got to talk about it, man. You get to see your guy tonight.
Over here bricked up, man. I'm proud of Ben Johnson coming out here giving you all this information. Like, yeah, Hendon Hooker is definitely a guy that you're going to be studying a lot just because you didn't get to see him a lot. And during training camp, he's been very inconsistent. You're either on one or the other side of the fence. Either he had a good training camp and you loved it, or you think it's terrible and you want us to look for another veteran QB just to have as a backup in her pocket. But at the same time, preseason is a perfect opportunity for you to sit here and make mistakes, which he will. We all know that's going to happen. But the key thing is if he can learn from his mistakes, which I think he definitely will. And I think he will play the majority of this game tonight, but it's against a New York Giants defense, which hopefully he can shine in. So I'm praying for you, Hooker, man. It's going to be your season.
Yeah, I just feel like, it's definitely more encouraging to hear Ben Johnson come out and say these things, especially after hearing some of the things we heard in OTAs, leading up to this point. But we have to see it on tape. He's got to put it on game tape. And I think it's almost imperative that he wins the backup job. No offense to Nate Sudfeld, but we like Hendon Hooker because he's not a one-dimensional quarterback. He is a dual threat, and that gives this offense another element, another wrinkle to it just in case Jared Goff goes down. That'll be hard for teams to game plan, of course, but that'll be hard for teams to game plan for him being a dual threat quarterback. So we already know, the type of college career he had and the things that he did very well. We just have to see it in the NFL now and putting it on game tape.
And this is down the line. Like, you're not going to see this early. You're not going to see it tonight or early in the season, but don't count out a guy like Ben Johnson for crafting up something with Goff and Hooker on the field at the same time. Like, I don't know how it would work, but we see some funky formations, the things the Lions do, in 22 sets, 2 running back, 2 tight end, 1 wide receiver sets. We see him try to get the ball to Penei Sewell. Like, the versatility of Hooker could lead to some creativity.
He has it drawn up already.
They're not drafting him without something special in mind. And I bet Ben Johnson has some wild plan, or at least had one when they drafted him, about how to use him in creative ways.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him tonight as well. I'm wondering where the people are. Are you guys excited about Hendon Hooker? Or has some of the magic kind of worn off? At the start of last season, especially before the contract extension for Jared Goff, there were a lot of people who firmly believed that Hendon Hooker was the future. Yep. I'm wondering if those people are still out there and how they're feeling as we kind of get into Hook season. It's Hooker season right now. It's the preseason. We joke about it, we laugh about it, we talk about it, but realistically, now is the time where we get to see who this guy is and if what Ben Johnson is saying is what we can believe in.
And to piggyback off of that, Broder, you have a hypothetical trade that ESPN sort of formulated just in case Hendon Hooker maybe isn't what we hope him to be, at least this season.
That's a good transition.
Go ahead and present that.
It was interesting to see this because it's not some big high-profile trade. In fact, all 5 of them that the guy wrote about weren't super blockbustery, if that's a word. But Seth Walder from ESPN, he put out this hypothetical trade. The Lions receive Falcons' third-string quarterback, Taylor Heineke, in exchange for a 2025 seventh-round pick. So this is a 1-year deal to come in and be Goff's backup if the coaching staff doesn't think that Sudfeld or Hooker or Hooker's not ready or Sudfeld is capable of that. What do you guys think of that? And whether it's Taylor Heineke or someone else, just the thought of bringing in another quarterback for a 7th rounder. Like, what do you think?
So Taylor Heineke, he is on an expiring contract. His cap hit is $4.5 million. So not the worst, but for somebody who might not play, that's a little bit of a pretty penny. I don't necessarily mind giving up a 2025 7th round pick because those rarely ever hit, even if you are Brad Holmes. Here's the thing. If you don't have confidence in Hendon Hooker, if you don't think he's somebody that could potentially step in a pinch for Jared Goff this season, obviously knock on wood, then you have to at least consider it. Yeah. Because as much as we talk about if Jared Goff goes down, you're effed. If it's for a short, if it's for the season, I understand. But if it's just for a few games, I can't necessarily accept that. And even if it's for important stretches of the season, I do want somebody who would be capable of stepping in. And Taylor Heineke has played some good football in his career. He has won some games as a starter. And we've seen scenarios even recently, last season, with the Cleveland Browns. I know everybody always brings them up. Do you think they would have still made the playoffs if Dorian Thompson-Robinson started the rest of their games?
No.
I don't necessarily think so. If the Philadelphia Eagles, during the season where Carson Wentz got hurt, if they had a rookie who's never taken a snap in the NFL instead of Nick Foles, would they have won the Super Bowl? Absolutely not, because Nick Foles was amazing in the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. If the Giants in 1990, when Phil Simms went out, had a rookie who never played instead of Jeff Hostetler, would they have won the Super Bowl? I don't think so. If the Kansas City Chiefs, when Patrick Mahomes went down for parts of 2 playoff games, had a rookie who's never played a snap instead of Chad Henne, would they have won both of those games? Maybe, but Chad Henne made big plays in both games. Chad Henne, although running game aided, did lead a 99-yard touchdown drive when Patrick Mahomes went out with an ankle injury. Chad Henne made some big throws and had that huge, I believe, 3rd and 14 run to make it 4th and 1, and that throw to Tyreek Hill, that beautifully designed Andy Reid play in that 2021 playoff game against the Browns. I'm not saying run out and trade for Taylor Heineke. I'm just saying you need to have faith in a backup just in case. And if Hendon Hooker this season is not someone you'd feel comfortable throwing in, you got to at least consider bringing in a Taylor Heineke. You just do.
And you know what I like? It was something there that you said that I absolutely like, and I think that all fans should adopt this, especially if we're saying that we're the big dogs in the block. If Jared Goff does miss a couple games, a game or two here, you're right. You can't accept that as just an excuse for why they didn't reach the summit that they set for themselves. This team is supposed to be Super Bowl experience ready, and we've seen other teams who have been there in the past be able to overcome this. Not that you can do it for a long term, but you got to have the right pieces in place, and that includes insurance, proper insurance for your quarterback, man. You got to have it. Oh, snap.
I knew you did that.
Yeah.
By the way, ironically, you know who was Nick Foles' backup quarterback in that Super Bowl?
It was Nate Sudfeld.
It was Nate Sudfeld.
Hey,
it was Nate Sudfeld.
Let's rock.
Yeah.
Broder, you know what? Broder is going to be the curator of the Nate Sudfeld Museum.
I swear.
Now, more than ever, it is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance will make sure your carrier is not slipping in any extra fees.
No did.
Or raising those deductibles. All you got to do, call Mark at Swiss today, 313-530-1698. That number again, 313-530-1698. Visit them online, SwissINS.com, and let them know Woodward Sports Center.
The Great American Chevy Week is back and bigger than ever at Feldman Chevrolet. Choose from the largest inventory of award-winning Chevys, all priced to move for the biggest week of the year. Get this 2024 Silverado for only $213 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $249 a month. Feldman takes the Great American Chevy Week to another level. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Did somebody say merch?
Merch.
Do yourself a favor, head over to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab. We're dropping new designs every single week. But let me tell you about the ones we got up here on screen. You got the Stoke Not Scared, which I hope you're going to be wearing tonight during this preseason game against the Giants. And you got the hashtag Boo Them Kids
Boo the
out
children.
right now that you should be wearing when it comes to us playing the Rams
You
on
can
that
practice
Sunday
tonight.
night. See, you can even practice tonight while you're at home watching it. Come on now. And we also got the Woodward Tigers as well, too. Couple more games left, and then the season is done, and we get ready for off-season, baby. WoodwardSports.com. Click on that shop tab. Get swagged out.
Get swagged out. Welcome back. It's Wake Up Woodward. We've been talking Detroit Lions all day because it's not just training camp anymore. They're putting on the pads. They're getting out there on the field, and they're playing a completely different team. The New York Giants. It's Rock preseason game number 1 tonight at 7. And we were talking about Hendon Hooker. Right now, the level on confidence in Hendon Hooker tonight. We got the poll up in the chat. 52% of you say mid, 37% high, 11% low. I know this. The Kansas City Chiefs, they were probably much higher on their backup quarterback in Chad Henne, who you talked about, former Michigan quarterback.
Yes.
Go Blue. But we got to talk about the current quarterback in its situation with Michigan football.
Yes.
Alex ORJI, is there really a quarterback competition to you?
Well, the coaches say that it is. And here's the thing, and I know I've joked about it, Broder's joked about it. Losing J.J. McCarthy is a big deal.
Yeah.
He was a top 10, he was a first-round quarterback for crying out loud. But right now, the quarterback room is Alex ORJI, Jack Tuttle, Davis Warren, Jaden Davis, and Jaden Denegal. And when I'm looking at all 5 of those names, to me, this has to be Alex ORJI's to lose. First of all, Alex ORJI, and I know it was in runs, it wasn't in passes, he's the only one of these 5 that Michigan trusted to be in high leverage moments and high leverage games. He had a 13-yard run in the national championship game against Washington. He had a 20-yard run in the home game against Ohio State this year. Alex ORJI is the most talented. He's got the size. He's got the arm strength. He's got the running ability, which we've all seen. We expect a lot of ORJIs in the end zone this year, no matter if he starts or not, because he's somebody you can use in all kinds of packages. But
that's nasty.
Hey, RG3 said it first.
Right.
RG3 said it first, so I'm going to blame him. I'm going to blame him, and I'm going to co-opt that from him. But Alex ORJI, he's somebody that I think his ceiling, and I've heard this a lot, is to be Michigan's answer to what Jalen Milroe was for Bama last season. And if he becomes that, if he becomes even an approximation of that, I think a lot of worries about Michigan and the quarterback position will be eased, because it's not like Alex ORJI is going to have to lead them to be a super prolific offense for most games, because their defense is so good. And you got Donovan Edwards in the backfield, and you have the ultimate safety net and a great tight end in Colston Loveland. The reason why I say it has to be Alex ORJI's more than to lose more than anything is that here's the reality of the situation. Jack Tuttle is basically on the 20-year plan when it comes to college.
Talk to me about that, because Charles McClain said he wants to see Tuttle start for Michigan.
See,
I guess you got to tell him why that's not going to happen.
I disagree, because Jack Tuttle is somebody that has been a backup his entire career. He was second string at Indiana. And I get it, he was behind Michael Penix in 2020 and all of that. But Jack Tuttle, there's no ceiling to him except for being just a solid guy. And I don't even know if he's got that. He hasn't started anywhere that he's played. And Davis Warren, he's another one. He's just...
You get Jake Rudolph vibes?
Yeah, well, Jake Rudolph in the NFL. Hey, Jake Rudolph at Michigan, shout out. He had a pretty good year in 2015. Right. But Davis Warren, he's another one. He's a former walk-on. He's the definition of a little engine that could. If he ends up starting and plays well, fine, but... My point is that it's not necessarily that I don't want to see Jack Tuttle and Davis Warren. It's that it's a bad look for Alex ORJI if he can't beat these guys out. Jaden Davis, he's a true freshman. Yeah. I expect him to start in the upcoming years, but not this season. And then there's another guy in Jaden Denegal who, if there was one other person who I would want to maybe seize the lead in this race, it would be Jaden Denegal, because he's another one that's just incredibly talented, a huge hulking stature, 6'5", has a great arm, has some athleticism, but the overlying point of it all is that it has to be Alex ORJI's to lose, because you cannot lose this competition to a career backup, a walk-on, or a freshman. You just can't. There's no excuse.
And I got one question, because I want to look at this a little bit differently as well. Yes. Obviously, this has to be Alex ORJI's starting quarterback position, but how confident are you in this quarterback room overall for the University of Michigan football Wolverine?
wavering. None of these guys have thrown a significant pass in a significant game in their entire careers. And that's not necessarily uncommon for teams looking to transition at quarterback, but the reality is I gotta see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if it's Alex ORJI, I'd feel confident that he at least had a good camp. If it's somebody else other than Jaden Denegal, I would be a little bit worried that this isn't a great quarterback room.
Yeah, quarterback room in college football, it's a lot different than in the NFL. Like, there is value to SUDFELD more in the NFL than a player like that in college. So it needs to be ORJI. It needs to be one leader emerging, regardless of their skill set. Like, this team needs a leader, and I think ORJI is that, at least paving the way for Jaden Davis or who's ever next. I think it's an opportunity, too, for Sharon Moore to start to change the narrative, not about all the extra Michigan stuff, but about the Michigan offense and their ability to innovate and be creative, which Harbaugh got a lot of slack for that until the last couple of years where he started to open up the playbook a little bit, do some different things. But again, there's still those Penn State games, which we go back to. If they need to, they'll hand the ball off 30 times in a row and go win. I think what ORJI can bring, both with his arm, but definitely with his legs, is just a different style of offense in the Big Ten, in college football. While I do still think Sharon Moore is going to build it, at least build through the trenches the traditional way. Really build that offensive line back up. Make sure you have a dominant defensive line and let that be the identity of your team. And then if ORJI if he can do what he seems to be doing in camp more regularly in real games, this offense could be dangerous early. I mean, maybe not week one, although they're going to have to be. The schedule is no joke anymore. Not Fresno State week one, but you know what I'm talking about. He's got to figure it out. But I think this could be the start of something great, hopefully something great for Michigan recruiting, the offense on the field moving forward.
Yeah, I totally agree with both of your points, and I do believe Jaden Davis is the future of this team going forward, but right now it has to be Alex ORJI, man. And even if he's not super accurate throwing the ball, when you have somebody with the athleticism that Alex ORJI has, and you have an offensive-minded coach like Sharon Moore, he's going to find ways to get this guy involved, man. And even worst case, he's not the best and most accurate. You still have a Donovan Edwards he can hand the ball off to. You still have one of the best tight ends in the country that he can throw check downs to. And then you can just find ways to utilize his legs in the running game and just run the offense that way. But I look forward to what Alex ORJI can bring to this team. I've been saying it all along. I feel like Sharon Moore is going to change that narrative, much to what Broder was saying, of them just being a powered, pro-style, heavy run team. I think he will find ways to expand the offense over time. And when you have a weapon like that, that's a good way to jumpstart that.
Yeah, and I see Mason Leach in the chat. He said everyone is too high on Alex ORJI. He hasn't even thrown a pass yet. Jack Tuttle and David Warren has at least thrown multiple balls downfield. And when I look back to the offense they ran, especially underneath Sharon Moore, in those 3 games that he was head coach, is where I see an offense that realistically, not that we want to diminish what a quarterback can be, but it is a lot more plug and play for your quarterbacks than some of the other offenses that we might have seen around the league, where they put a lot of pressure and usage on that quarterback to do a lot, either throwing the ball or running. With Michigan, we saw even after J.J. McCarthy got hurt that they were able to run the type of offense, even though we know he has some wheels, that honestly kept them upright, kept them from getting injured anymore, and it kept their national championship hopes alive. I believe it's honestly the perfect offense if you're an Alex ORJI who hasn't thrown a pass yet to be able to step into and honestly find some comfortable strides with some playmakers all around you.
Yeah.
I think it reduces really the pressure on an Alex ORJI that normally would probably come with a starting quarterback position for the first time.
Well, and to respond to what Mason Leach said, because I actually understand his point, and here's what I will counter with. Last season, I felt more comfortable with Jack Tuttle as the backup than I would have with Alex ORJI. And you're right, Jack Tuttle has made some throws in college. Not in the most high leverage of moments usually. He played a lot of garbage time, but at Indiana, he played a couple of games. I think he started a couple of games. I understand that. Davis Warren last season was terrible in his garbage time playing time, but in 2022 he played a little bit. Jaden Denegal threw some passes last year as well. Alex ORJI did not. However, when I'm looking at a starting quarterback, I want somebody with more talent and upside than Jack Tuttle. I like him as my backup. I really do. But basically what Jack Tuttle is a poor man's Cade McNamara. That's how I see him. And this isn't disrespectful to Cade McNamara. Cade McNamara is a starting quarterback.
It's really disrespectful to Tuttle. A poor man.
Cade McNamara is a starting quarterback.
Don't bring
He
those
probably
memories back.
would have done pretty well at Iowa if he didn't get hurt. He's probably going to do really well at Iowa this year. But if you're not a poor man's Cade McNamara, why haven't you started anywhere else? That's all. That's all I'm saying is that as my backup, Jack Tuttle, wonderful, experienced, can make some accurate throws. As my starter, I need somebody with more talent and upside. I need somebody like an Alex ORJI. I need somebody like even a Jaden Denegal. I said he'd be the one that I would be most okay with if it's not Alex ORJI.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback on that, somebody who, when there's a spectacular play that needs to be made or a play breaks down, somebody who has a skill set to be able to break one and go for it with his legs, either with his arm. And we saw J.J. McCarthy be able to do that. Oh, yeah. So even though we knew, hey, the offense is call hike, turn on and hand the ball off, if JJ had to make a play with his legs and then with his arm, we saw them win the national championship do that.
Yeah. And just remember, guys, last season, look at the passing statistics versus the rushing statistics. I'm just saying. JJ McCarthy made a lot more plays and played a lot more good games than you think. Because last season, remember, before the national championship game, Donovan Edwards didn't really do anything.
All right, I need we got a lot of gold blue here, and we also got our resident Sparty. So we'll at least get one take from outside perspective. We kind of already know how he feels. But we got to jump into this Michigan suspension stuff. Noise. It's just noise. It's just noise to me. But let's hear from Mark White first.
Absolutely. Mark White, somebody that you would want on your football team with those hops in those hands. Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
Hey, Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza. It is the best place to get get yourself some lunch, get yourself some dinner. Man, every time they bring Soroki's into the office, they brought it to the draft party. It gets eaten up just like that. They got biscuits, they got sandwiches, they got Nashville hot chicken pizza, everything you could possibly want, and it is reasonably priced as well. So come enjoy the delicious heat at Soroki's.
Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. I'm chuckling because you're right, bro. When they bring the Soroki's, it's gone. So you better have a girl like JB's girl, because she made sure when the food hit, he was running TD for the draft show. Yeah, she walked right over there, made my man a plate. I looked over, he had his plate. Looked back again, the food was gone. It's like, dang, she looked out for JB.
Absolutely.
Soroki's, it is fire. And we're talking about Michigan quarterbacks. I think it's ever appropriate to talk about really what the Big Ten looks like from a quarterback position. Quarterbacks, man, one of the most, if not the most important position on the field. Let's get a view of it. Broder, you said we got a graphic in the system from JB?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, let's throw that up there.
Oh, yeah.
I believe. So here's a Big Ten quarterback rankings. Obviously see ORJI at the end, Aiden Childs. Is it pronounced Chili's or Childs?
Childs.
Aiden Childs at what, number 8? What do you guys think of this list? Dylan Gabriel at number 1, Drew Aller number 2. First thoughts. Then I want to ask you about the quarterback position as a whole.
Before Sam goes, first thoughts. It is so crazy to see some of these team logos in there when we're talking about the Big Ten.
That's
crazy.
That's a great one, and the fact that Dillon Gabriel, Will Howard, Will Rogers, and Tyler Van Dyke are all in the Big Ten now.
Yeah.
That's insane in and of itself. It is a new game. But honestly, if I'm looking at this list, I know Justin's upset because Will Howard isn't ranked number 1, 2, and 3. Scary Will Howard. But anywho, I'm just
leave
I'll just
Justin
give it a
alone.
shit. I'm not leaving Justin alone. The way he was sucking off Will Howard was shameful. But we've gone over that. We hashed it out. But no, honestly, I don't hate it. Dillon Gabriel at 1, I think, is correct. Drew Aller, people act like he's terrible, and he did struggle against Ohio State and Michigan. I understand that, but he did have a touchdown to interception ratio above 12-1. He feasted against a lot of crappy teams, but still, I think Drew Aller is going to be good. Will Howard, all jokes aside, I think he's a slight upgrade over Kyle McCord. He's more mobile. Miller Moss, you saw how he looked in the bowl game for USC. Will Rogers, and here's the thing about Washington. I think if you're going to lose a guy like Kalen DeBoer, bringing in a Jed Fish, who also is known for his offense, and a guy like Will Rogers, who's thrown 35 or more touchdown passes in 2 seasons with Mississippi State, that could be interesting. Dylan Raiola at 6. Hasn't taken a snap, but he's one of, depending on what recruiting rankings that you see, he might be the number 1 quarterback coming in this year. Tyler Van Dyke, guy who in Miami had a really good 2021, but has really fallen off the last couple of seasons. And then the last 2 at the end, those are the ones that we all really care about. I have no problem with right now having Aiden Chiles above Alex ORJI, because Aiden Chiles, in mostly mop-up duty, did look impressive for Oregon State. I'm not going to lie and say that he didn't. And Alex ORJI, as people in the chat have often said, including Mason Leach, has not really thrown any significant passes for Michigan. So I expect, honestly, it wouldn't shock me if Aiden Chiles and Alex ORJI climb this list as the season goes along, but all of a sudden, the quarterbacks in the Big Ten, it's not looking so bad, especially with the new additions and the new teams.
Yeah, that was going to be my question to you is, based on what you expect out of Alex ORJI in Michigan football this year, how high do you believe he'll climb on this list? Some teams.
I know it's tough. If he becomes a top 5 quarterback in the Big Ten, there's no doubt in my mind Michigan's winning at least 10 games.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt in my mind. But we don't even know if he's going to be the starter. That's the thing. He could go as high to me as like 4 this year, or he could be off this list entirely and Jack Tuttle is somewhere in like the 9, 10, 11 range. So there's just so much uncertainty with Michigan. I can't make an accurate position with prediction without adding a ton of caveats right now.
Nah, I feel that, man. It is crazy to see these logos there. And just to see how with this new Big Ten, the new teams coming in are the ones at the top, and to see Michigan State and Michigan at the bottom of this list, it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We can't really say what Alex ORJI will or won't be, but I am very, very bullish on this Michigan team. I believe that Sharon Moore did a lot to keep the fabric or the culture of this squad together. He has some big-time players returning, and I think overall this team will give whatever quarterback is under center a huge boost for Michigan.
100%, but I got to respond to Jesus in the chat because he's obviously
get his lick back. Get his lick back
in there.
No, I mean, hey, you go ahead. You go ahead. Tee it up for me, man.
Flannel, let me see here. What do you have? He had the one. Flannel, bruh. Will Howard is better than Drew Allar.
See,
take your shots when I'm not there.
Hey, Justin, we hashed it out on air though.
There's more, but I'm not gonna read it.
No, and I understand. You make some good points about Will Howard. To me, it's more about what the standard of quarterback play is at Ohio State, at least to me, because this is a school that obviously Kyle McCord was a huge downgrade of what they've had before. But before that, they had back-to-back of Dwayne Haskins, RIP, Justin Fields, and C.J. Stroud. And now, Will Howard, to me, he's more mobile. He has more experience in college than Kyle McCord did because Kyle McCord didn't have any. But to me, he's just slightly above regular. And I don't think he's as talented as a guy like Drew Aller, who I expect a big year from, partially because he doesn't have to play Oregon and Michigan. But don't act like I didn't take shots when you were there. I certainly did. When I saw this list and saw Drew Aller over Will Howard, I had to say something.
Man,
I had to.
There's more shots fired in the chats. Art Vandelay, if Jordan Love was in the Big Ten, easy would rank him number 1.
Probably.
And for the record, Justin, I wasn't blowing Dominique Raiola or Dylan Raiola.
Yeah. Well, hey, we'll let Flannel read it.
I just said that
I wanted to read it.
Him being where he was is fine because he is one of the top. He's one of the top recruits in the country. And I get it. That's not a bad point by you, but I'm not blowing Dylan Raiola. You were shivering in your boots over Will Howard and Emeka Egbuka for Ohio State, when in past seasons, they literally had C.J. Stroud, Marvin Harrison, and Egbuka as wide receiver too. C.J. Stroud, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Chris Olave. Excuse me for not fearing that offense, at least that quarterback wide receiver combination, as much as maybe you think I should.
Now.
That's all. That's all.
When we all back in the studio together, Tuesday we got the entire lineup.
Yeah.
Hey, let's ride. Let's ride.
Is that
it's football season, bro?
Is that Dominic Raiola's son? I kept seeing that in the chat.
Yes,
it is. Okay.
And with
shout out Dominic Raiola.
That's the one walking around looking like Patrick Mahomes?
Yes.
Yeah. He's committed to like 8 schools in the last 3 months also.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That's crazy.
Oh, man.
Not a Dan Campbell.
Detroit Lions football, Michigan football. One of these days, we're going to make sure that JB can talk a little bit of Spartans football. But right now, we're going to make sure he can cook up in the next segment. Hopefully, like Hendon Hooker tonight.
Hopefully.
Hey, hopefully. Hey, and Justin, one more thing. Those Michigan teams were better than this one, though. I will say this Michigan defense, though, I think you could certainly make an argument that it's as talented as 2021 or 2021 and 2022 and 2023. I maybe not 2023, but you've got Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, Derek Moore, Josiah Stewart. You got Hausman and Jayshawn Barham at linebacker, and then you've got Will Johnson at corner.
And Wink Martindale calling the plays.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I obviously understand that Michigan's offense is going. I wouldn't be shocked if they struggle a little bit. But the reason why I'm not as scared of Will Howard and Emeka Egbuka as you is because Michigan's defense I don't worry about. Michigan's offense, I mean, if you're not a little bit concerned, I think you're a little delusional. But Michigan's defense, not concerned a bit.
Yep. Hey, you know what? I like football at the Boys and Girls Club too.
Absolutely. Hey, some of these might be future Lions someday, and you can play on Ford Field. Join the best youth football league in Metro Detroit. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Southeastern Michigan 3C Sports League offers youth ages 5 to 14 with 6 exciting teams to choose from in Detroit, Belleville, Highland Park, and East Point. All coaches are trained, certified, and undergo background checks. Register for football or cheer at bgcsm.org. Equipment, meals, and transportation included, all for a chance to play for a championship at Ford Field for just $175 per child. Put the youth back in youth sports with BGCSM 3C Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Lucky I didn't come back.
You see, I had to stop early.
Oh, man. He was doing tricks on it, they talking about.
Hey, it's only appropriate, right? It's the Randy Wise act.
That's my guy, man.
How would you like to play the University of Michigan golf course with Braylon Edwards?
You better not
I'm
say
not
it.
looking at you.
You better not.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf
You're a
Tour.
grown-ass man.
Register today. You can round off our foursome at woodwardsports.com or scan the code on the screen right here above my head. When it comes to your next car or truck, make the wise decision. Randy Wise Automotive. Oh my gosh. Welcome back. Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. Appreciate you guys as always for choosing to kick off the day with the Woo Crew. And it's not just any day, it is a Lions game day tonight at 7 o'clock. We got Detroit Lions, New York Giants. Get to see these guys in the pads and see what Hendon Hooker has as well. Gotta see my guy J-Mo out there. Buy the jersey flannel. Just buy it early.
Well, I'm not going to do that until he gets 1,000 receiving yards, but you know what? I hope he does.
Y'all see the J-Mo watch over there. It's JB cooking. Let's cook up, brother.
And remember, it's receiving yards for the millionth time. It's receiving yards because I predict for him to go over 1,000 from scrimmage, but not 1,000 receiving.
People never hear that part, but we'll talk about it.
We will.
Let's cook up.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Bizzle. Let's rock.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
What up, though?
What's going on? I'm glad we got Broder back because you know I need you to grade this pitch once again. But I'm going to let you know they call him the Viper for a reason. So just watch out on your grading.
Randy Orton?
Mr. Randy Orton was throwing out a pitch.
Wow.
Not bad.
With the Lou?
Let's go.
With the St. Louis Cardinals.
I
So
need to see. I can't really.
Oh, he lied that sucker.
Oh,
he did
Yeah,
a
not
Braylon.
bad. You know, wrestlers, they do a lot of bench pressing, so their pecs are tight.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so they got to go with the over the top. It was fair.
Yeah.
It was all right. I'd say stick to wrestling, but hey, at least you got it there.
Yeah.
At least it's better than Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Forever beef.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Forever.
Forever beef. Forever beef as well. And you know what, Broder? You made up a good point about the Michigan crew who actually made it to the Olympics. And we don't talk about them a lot. But you know who we also don't talk about?
Who?
The people who didn't make the Olympics. So we got to give them at least some credit.
Damn. Our great champions.
Oh.
Great champions that didn't make it.
Look
my
at the
God.
determination.
Oh.
Just look.
Somersault.
Oh, that was horrible.
That's how I look doing a
That's
cartwheel.
why Simone Biles is the GOAT, because shit like that. Oh, my God.
What? Well, What?
Not the backflip. Holy shit.
Hey, get it.
Oh,
Hey, she wins. She wins. Send her. Oh.
She wins that. Windmill
Damn.
energy creating.
Come on.
Dog.
Not off the diving board.
That person was just having fun, bro.
Jesus.
Oh,
went to the judge table.
No, they faded away early.
Who's that?
Oh, God.
Broken neck.
Oh, no. Jesus.
All right.
All right, that's enough. But shout out to all the people who didn't make it
In memorial.
to the Olympics. You know, to be fair,
They tried.
Right.
They really tried. They really tried their
R.I.P.,
hardest.
man.
So did this guy as well too. So I gotta ask: was this a catch or wasn't this a catch?
Oh. That's a catch.
Hold on.
Did it hit any part of the fence?
No, it didn't. That's a catch.
Wow.
That is a catch.
Did it not hit?
It didn't hit the yellow.
I
Look,
feel like it.
look real
with
close.
his glove.
Look real close.
No yellow.
No yellow.
But it
I
hit
feel like it bounced off.
It looked like it might have to the right.
I don't think it touched.
What did they call it? Do you know, JB?
I don't know what they called it.
It hit the glove.
I
it
feel
didn't
like
hit
it was
the
a
yellow.
catch, but
See, look.
I think it hit the fence, though.
I do
Right
think it hit
there.
the fence.
yeah, I think
Right.
it bounces back.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looked like it hit the glove.
This
Right.
Look, right.
imagine being in the replay.
It kind of hit his arm and then his glove, but I don't know.
What would you like?
Is that Justin?
I'm calling
His
that
last
a catch.
name Rave on his jersey?
That man goes to so many music festivals, but you know, God bless him. He's young. He can handle it.
I don't even know what I would
That's a
call
catch
this
to
like
me.
live. I guess I would have to. I don't even know what I call it. If I'm a ump out there, I have no idea.
To me, that's a catch on this replay.
To me, it's not, but it's so close.
Yeah, it's-
Oh
What's the
my!
chat talking
I
about?
wish I knew what it was called.
I really think they called it a catch, but
Okay.
I like
I'm telling
seeing
you,
it
it
again.
hit his arm and then his glove. It didn't really touch the fence.
to me,
I don't
that's
think.
one that the call on the field stands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
Can't
one of
overturn
those.
it.
Intern Chase thinks that's an out.
Okay.
Dante 151. It hit his glove, so it's an out. The key's to winner. The tie goes to the outfielder.
All right.
I don't think it quite goes like that, but you know we'll let it rock.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I gotta say that's fair. But man, I think I found the next great UFC fighter. But
Oh God,
I don't know if he's gonna make it to the league.
Oh shit!
Get him.
Wait.
Holy shit!
Oh,
He's
get him.
eating all of those.
Oh,
punches.
he eating the headshot too.
What?
Pause. Oh yeah, just quit, bro. Just quit the fight.
Ooh.
Just quit the
And out.
One punch knockout.
Jesus Christ! Why is this like a movie almost? It don't even seem like a real fight.
It look like
Come on, man.
God, that's demoralizing.
Yeah,
Getting
bro.
all those shots in, and he's probably just smiling
I'd
back.
have just
like, is
walked
that
to the
all you
ref
got?
like, yeah, I'm
Yep.
good.
what is this, like the Hangover part, like 5?
Bro, after the headshot, it's like, all right, I'm good.
Dude, you'd think even
I'm turning it in for the day.
you'd think
Wow.
even if somebody
Get your
who's-
hands up, son.
What's the thing? Even if somebody who's not physically near your level or that strong hits you that hard in the face that you're at least gonna do one of these, but he's just like, nope. Give me another one.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I'm kind of done letting you punch me. You're dead.
You right?
That's basically what happened.
Terrible.
You're dead. Beep boop bop boop beep.
Jesus.
Yo,
Terrible.
like, but he's
That was
throwing
rough.
his head into the punches. Like, am I the only one saying that?
Yeah.
Bro, one more time.
One more time.
Throwing his head into the punches. I'm
Yeah,
just
he's-
sitting here like, what?
He's putting all his strength into that.
Like, look at the guy getting punched.
Like
He's like
Ken
literally
Jeong out
leaning
there.
into the hits. Watch when he goes back to the
He's
face.
walking
Watch when he
into
goes
the
to the
punches.
face. What?
Yeah, that's wild.
He's headbutting
That's
this guy's
wild.
punches, bro.
All right, go to
Man.
sleep. Tired of your motherfucking ass.
He got tired of playing with his food there. He got tired of it. And finally, I will end what's trending with this. You know, as hoopers, we kind of do some hooper things off the court.
Yeah, of
you
course.
You know how you
Shooting baskets like I'm Michael Jordan.
Shooting baskets like you're Jordan.
Act
you
like
know,
I'm dribbling.
Might do a little hezzy in
Right.
the hallway.
Right.
Between the legs.
Something like that.
I do a
always
crossover on my girl all the time.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Dunk
She get
over the
mad.
door like, stop
See?
the wall.
Do the
See?
Euro step over her like, oh.
Hey,
Never heard
baby
See?
girl, Queen Cool. Hey, don't have the laundry basket now.
Oh,
Come
stop
on.
it.
now.
It's
Oh,
over.
no.
Trash can right there. Stop it.
See, you guys know that we do these things off the court as hoopers, but I've always had this age-old question: do baseball players do the exact same thing? Broder?
Let's go.
They stupid.
They know.
Classic song too.
This shawty low.
Yeah.
See?
R.I.P.
See, do baseball players do this like outside the field?
That's
like,
what they do. Baseball players.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Especially if you have two baseball players together.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty impressive. This guy is with his son. Must be a wife there.
And you a pitcher, you probably do air pitches like
All day long.
like when you in the kitchen, you getting the sandwich, you just air pitch for no
Oh yeah.
reason.
That's how I have conversations with
It's
my
good
family
form.
members.
Good
Nice
form.
form. Way to get low.
Yeah.
way to get low.
I
He
wouldn't
got
bunt
on
on
his
him.
Parker Meadows.
I wouldn't bunt on him. He could make a play to first. Most pitchers, third baseman. Well, third.
Something tells me he might lead his league in steals as well.
I think so. I think you might. But that's it for what's
Not
trending, you
touching that
guys.
joke.
Let's get in some mailbag.
I'm white. I'm
Look,
shockingly.
man, my school did, and hey, we had a good season. Led the league in steals as a team too. Shout out Summit Dragons. Love you guys. But as always, great job with what's trending, JB-Smoov. I know we got to get into our mailbag segment next. Got to take a quick break, but that allows you guys to get your mailbag questions into the chat family. We want to hear from you all and answer your questions. But first, attention sports fans. Don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big The Energy and every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering you the top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
The Great American Chevy Week is back and bigger than ever at Feldman Chevrolet. Choose from the largest inventory of award-winning Chevys, all priced to move for the biggest week of the year. Get this 2024 Silverado for only $213 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $249 a month. Feldman takes the Great American Chevy Week to another level. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. Hey, mailbag time. What is going on, everybody? Thank you guys for watching the show. We really appreciate that. And, I got one from James to start it out. Tonight's score predictions from everybody. Closest gets to pick the Bar King position. Oh, well, I don't know if we want to.
Love that, though.
It's really random in preseason if you want those kind of stakes on a preseason game.
Right.
But does anybody have any score predictions, or do you even really give a damn?
Let's just throw them out real quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a 24-17 Lions dub.
Okay.
I'm going 17-10 Lions victory.
I'll go 21-13 Lions.
23-10 Lions.
23-10. That's not bad. Give me 23-17. It'll be, game.
Do we all just pick the Lions?
Yeah, Lions.
Yes. Love it. How about this after tonight's game? This is from Just a Fan mailbag. Will we either be super hyped after tonight's Lions game, concerned, or scared? What feeling of emotion will you have after the game?
Stoked.
I am going to say none of those options. Not like over the top hype because it's preseason, but if I had to make a prediction, I predict that at least a couple of players will be worth talking about tomorrow substantively. That's my prediction.
Including J-Mo.
I don't know about that.
I don't think he's playing.
I'm talking about players who are lower on the totem pole than J-Mo. Like maybe Donovan Peoples-Jones?
Maybe. Edge. Early mailbag. This was from earlier.
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions win-loss total is set at 9.5, which feels off. I don't see them winning less than 11 games. The question is, how many wins will it take to win the NFC North? 11? Question mark?
I think 11.
Yeah.
I really do.
You think Packers are coming for that? Packers are that number 2. They're going to be challenged by the Packers.
I think there's going to be no 14-win team, but there's also going to be no 7-win team. That's what I think that the NFC North is going to turn out to be. So I think the Lions will win with an 11-6 record.
Ooh.
Anybody else?
No, I agree with it. I think it's going to take 11. The Packers, they're for real. No matter how much we're going to hate on them, they're for real. We got to make sure we pay those proper respect. It's going to take 11.
Yeah. For me, it's either 11 or is it 12? Not
that
is
could
it
be
10.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Big Show picks mailbag. What NFL rule would you change or alter if you could choose one?
There's so many.
And maybe we let this simmer so you can think about it for a second because I think it's a good question, but there are a lot of NFL rules.
I mean, if I could go back in time, to a moment, change that process stuff. Calvin caught the ball.
Yeah.
Calvin caught
Clearly
the ball.
caught
What is a catch?
What is a catch now?
Just
make it simple again, guys.
That's
Please.
not a bad one.
Make it simple.
All right, keep thinking about that one. Maybe we can revisit. Charles McLean, mailbag. How many running backs do Lions keep? And could Reynolds be odd man out due to depth chart, but mostly with the new kickoff rules? So how many running backs do they keep? You think Craig Reynolds has a chance of not making the team? I don't. I think he's a guarantee.
He's
one step below a guarantee.
He has seemed like one of those kind of Alex Anzalone type guys, but just as it relates to the offense, one of those hard workers. You only hear when his name is brought up by the coaching staff good things, and he's one of those guys that just seems to just play his role.
I agree with Broder that he's going to make the team, and I think both him and Vaki make the team because Vaki, you don't even have to carry him necessarily as a running back. He's a guy who's got all kinds of positional versatility. So, yes, Craig Reynolds will make the team.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think Vaki is the one who maybe other years he might start on practice squad or Zonovan Knight, but because of Vaki's ability on special teams, he's going to make the team for other reasons.
Sure.
Yeah.
Chase Amley, our boy, mailbag. In NASCAR, we're throwing a NASCAR question at you guys.
NASCAR.
Would you rather be the official that drives the pace car between crashes or the official who waves a green, yellow, and checkered flag?
Probably the flag.
Yeah, I'm waving
honestly.
the flag.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing to do with that track.
That's
good.
Yeah.
Good on that.
Hey, Alan W. mailbag. Is it crazy to say that we may have our focus on the wrong team The NFC Championship game next season could be Packers versus Lions. Green Bay should have beaten San Francisco last season, too.
They should have.
Should the Packers be who we're talking about, not the 49ers? I believe is what that question means.
That would be some pretty good foresight if it turns out to be true, because my concern with the Packers, if I'm a Packers fan, is that they don't have what I would call, and it could end up being Xavier McKinney, it could end up being Jaden Reed, just Rashawn Gary could take a huge leap, but they don't have like an all-pro caliber player yet who's really proven it recently. So if a bunch of people take a leap, I could see the Packers doing it. But when you look at the 49ers and what they have, I just think there's so much more known talent, regardless of if Ayuk is there or not. So, but sometimes it's about having foresight. So I don't necessarily hate it. I think the Packers will be in the playoffs, and anything can happen.
I think it's a head on the swivel type of a season for the Lions, and you can't take anybody for granted, especially the ones that have proven that they're going to be right there at the end of the season as well. So I take the Packers and the 49ers both as really, really big threats. The Packers are a good team.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Definitely. Art Vandalay, mailbag. Anyone concerned about the hip drop tackle rule change, and if it could cost us a classic Lions loss?
I hate that rule so much.
I could be costing us without the player even intending to be like dirty. Just
Yeah.
because of the nature of the rule.
Yeah. You know, when new rules come out, like the officials are going to be looking for it and blowing it a little too aggressively. Pause.
Extreme pause on that one.
That's a very extreme pause. The whistle for penalties.
Yes. Eric Allen says, "Happy Jeff Fisher Day, guys." What do you do on the 8th? Also, that was Jared Goff's first coach.
It was
LA. Just to remind everybody,
he was horrible by then.
Jeff Fisher.
He was trash by then.
He's a terrible coach for the Rams.
Dante 151. Kool-Aid, did you watch the JB Bickerstaff interview that he sent you? If not, no big deal. He says watch it.
I watched some parts of it.
Okay.
I'm going to finish it today.
Fair.
Some interesting things in there.
Yeah.
All right, last one, I think. Big Show picks. Let's revisit it. Any rules you guys thought of? And I'll start with one if you guys are still thinking. I don't know the exact even rule, what it's called or whatever, but I think channeling the Dallas Cowboys game from last year, there should be 5 ineligible receivers, 5 offensive linemen. You shouldn't have to report or deal with telling the other team who's eligible. You got 6, 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, tight ends, other linemen.
You're in a game.
Suck it. Yeah. Just guard them.
Yeah.
So get rid of the having to report.
I feel you on that one.
Just kind of pulled that one out of.
No, you know what? And I feel you on that one. Detroit still won that game. They got the asterisk win to me. Rock with it.
I would probably change. I would make the roughing the passer rule. I'm not saying bring it back to the 70s or anything like that. I'm saying bring it back to like the early to mid 2000s, to where there's just been way too many times where a pass rusher just can't pull up and hits the quarterback a little bit too hard and he gets called for 15. That's basically drive killing and backbreaking if you're a defense. So save it for the really egregious offenses.
Or like when the defender is like swiping at a pass
and it hits the quarterback on the head.
Just so happens to like kind of hit him, and it's not an injury. There's no intent, but it's automatic personal foul on the first down. That just seems obsessive.
And you know the crazy thing too is, I don't know if you guys agree, and maybe I shouldn't think that this way. When even a Lions or Michigan drive is continued by just a really ticky-tack roughing the passer, I almost feel a little guilty. I'm like, I don't know if I like that.
I agree.
But then after the game, and if they score a touchdown on that drive, I forget about it. So
of course.
Just make it benefit the Lions only. That's all I ask. Is that too much?
Just make it benefit us.
Too much? Real quick, breaking news from Dante151, a couple other people in the chat. I'm gonna read Alan W's. Dante, I apologize. I'm going to read Alan W's because it's funny. The White Sox just fired Monty Williams. No, Dante says, breaking news, the Chicago White Sox have dismissed manager Pedro Grifol.
Bring back Ozzie Gibbs.
Dante's a man.
Oh, I hated Ozzie Gibbs.
Man, Ozzie Gibbs the man. That was my guy,
what an
man.
era in Major League Baseball.
I know.
In the AL Central. Goodness
Bring
gracious.
back Ozzie.
You know what I looked at the other day, though? And because there's a lot that you can blame for this White Sox terrible season, and the fact that they've sold a bunch of pieces as well means they might win less than 40 games. Luis Robert has had a horrible season.
Yeah.
If he were even what we would have been accustomed to seeing from him, they're probably not the worst team in MLB history. So, Luis Robert, it's up to you to turn it on and maybe single-handedly carry the team to some wins. Just not against the Tigers.
Still bring him home. I don't care. Bring him home.
That's fair. I don't. That's fair.
Oh man, is that a
Take
show?
us home, baby.
That's a show.
Oh yeah,
that's a show. Chat family, as always, y'all were definitely on one today, man. Whether it's the super chats, whether it's engaging, getting your comments in, answering the questions, the polls, or even the like goal, you guys were definitely on one. Thank you for the support that you give to the entire Wake Up Woodward Woo crew. Shout out to that dude, Justin, and intern Chase. Can't wait to have everybody back together, get in the studio. Sometime next week we'll have everybody here, I think Tuesday. But make sure you guys are tapping in tomorrow. I'm sure we're going to have a lot to talk about after the Detroit Lions football game tonight. I'm hoping everybody's fired up. You see I got the jersey on. Let's break this thing down and say bye to the rest of the cast and the crew. We got the vet of the network up here, Flannel Sam. What up, though, brother?
Hey, fun show. I really enjoyed myself. I feel great, by the way.
Yeah, you stayed upright.
Hey, I feel fantastic. And Justin, just know the only reason why I took the shot when you weren't there is because that list was right in front of my face, and it does have Drew Eller over Will Howard. We'll talk. We've talked it out. We've talked it out before, and we'll talk it out again. You do make some good points for the record, just so you know.
Let's ride. Let's ride. A little olive branch to end the show.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
That, Flannel Sam, the vet of the network, man. Not just Wake Up Woodward. Been doing this thing a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you, brother. Hey, shout out to our credentialed Tigers and our Lions reporter for the network. That is Matthew Broder. You do great work, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Great show. Can't wait to talk more. What do we say? 23 and a half hours? 23 and a half hour break? Shout out
like we got
Tony Reale.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Tony Reale? Tony Reale, right? Yeah.
Hey.
That boy.
Great job. Hey, the hoodie, I like it. I like backwards hat, brother.
Happened.
Dope.
Woke up a little late today.
Hey,
Fred Durst.
Fred Durst.
The wondrous, the elite,
Rolling,
magnificent, the great. Look at KG in there just letting all of these accolades just shower over him, man.
It's not good enough.
Stupendous.
You could do better.
Miraculous.
There you go.
Some beautiful brothers in these booths, man.
Thank you.
Shout out to Detroit's number one draft pick in the sound booth. That is KG, aka Black Hollywood, on the way for MVP, huh?
And the OBK.
And Bar King.
Yes.
And because of a technicality, I guess he's going to be Bar King for another week.
Longest reign ever, baby. Hey, but yo, OBK will not be on Wake Up Woodward tomorrow, man. Just E&E. So for my Woo family, have a great weekend, man. For everybody in the chat, appreciate the support and all the love that y'all gave us yesterday and just all week, man.
Yeah.
Y'all are the best, man. And let's keep this shit rolling, man.
Definitely, man.
Go
Definitely.
Lions.
Like Fred Durst.
Go Lions, baby.
It's beautiful to my ears. Gets me fired up. Hey, shout out to KG, man. And thank you for everything you do. Gonna miss you tomorrow. Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. It is JB-Smooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooo
back.
Let's go.
Lions here once again. Amazing show from everyone here. And also shout out, we were talking about you earlier. Happy birthday to one Khalif Raymond as well too.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We were talking about you earlier. Happy birthday, my man.
Hey, happy
One of my
birthday to
favorite
Khalif
guys.
Raymond.
One of my favorite players and one of the nicest human beings. One of my favorite guys to talk to in the locker room.
Probably.
He's underrated, man.
I was just about to say, is he probably the most underrated offensive player?
Maybe in the NFL.
Yeah, certainly on the line.
Let's rock. Let's rock. It's your boy Brandon Dent, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer. It's been Wake Up Woodward. It's been a fun show. Thank you guys for just all of the support that you guys give us. We know that it's real. And we honestly, hey, you got to depend on that type of stuff. So stay consistent, and we're going to try and stay consistent. Thank you guys. It's a Lions game day. Tap in with the Lions tonight, and then make sure you're right back here with Wake Up Woodward in the morning. Smash that like button on the way out. Have a blessed day, you guys. Whoop, whoop, whoop.